In today's video, we're going to show you how phrase match keywords works inside Google Ads, when to use them, and real campaign examples showing examples of actual searches that were triggered by phrase match keywords, just so you know what types of searches that your ads are actually eligible to appear for using phrase match keywords. And just to explain what phrase match keywords are, as Google defines themselves, that your ads may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword. And the most important part of that definition is the word include, because unlike exact match, where all of your searches have the exact same meaning of the keyword, with phrase match, the searches might include the meaning of the keyword, but that doesn't mean that the search term fully means the exact same thing as your keyword. And the examples of phrase match keywords they choose here are good examples as well. For example, cheap furniture stores, living room furniture deals, and what store is the best place to find a bedroom dresser. So you can see here that all of these search keywords include the same meaning as one another because they're all related to furniture, but the intent behind all of these searches does not mean the exact same thing. So phrase match has gotten a lot looser, as well as all of the other match types in more recent years. And phrase match could almost be considered what broad match used to be. Whereas broad match nowadays, searches are being triggered for almost anything, and you'd wonder, how is this search even related to my keyword at all using broad match? Whereas with phrase match, you would still get irrelevant searches appearing in your search terms report, but you'll also get a lot of relevant traffic as well. So you could say with phrase match that it is the best balance between exact and broad match when it comes to targeting high quality traffic but also expanding your reach at the same time. Now, this is an example of an older campaign that we've been running for over a year, that we actually started out with all phrase match keywords from the very beginning, which we wouldn't necessarily recommend doing anymore. And I'll give my own opinion on what I think you should do at the beginning of any campaign in just a moment. But just to show you some examples of the keywords that we're using in phrase match, and to give you an idea of the actual searches that are triggered by these keywords. You can look at gutter cleaning here, for example, as a phrase match keyword, and to just look at the actual search terms that were triggered by this keyword. You see here that we have, a long list of searches that were triggered by that one individual keyword. There's actually over 151 search terms here to go through. But just to give you a few examples, and as you can see here, we've actually had to add a lot of negatives as well. So, for example, clean gutters price, because we didn't want to appear for any price related searches, gutter and window cleaning near me. So, you can see here how it includes the meaning of your keyword but doesn't actually mean the same thing. So, this company doesn't offer window cleaning, so we added this as a negative. Gutter cleaning Carlo, as Carlo is just outside the person's target area. Again, prices, gutter cleaning with vacuum, so gutter cleaning with specific equipment. PJ Fitzpatrick gutter cleaning, so gutter cleaning, from a competitor. So things like that that include the meaning of the initial keyword but don't have the exact same intent. So with phrase match, it's worth noting that while you will get a lot of relevant traffic, as you can see for all of these search terms that we've added as new keywords to the campaign, that you're also going to get quite a lot of irrelevant traffic as well. So you want to make sure that you're inside your search terms report regularly, adding negatives for the phrase match keywords that you're targeting. But what I would say the main benefit really of using phrase match keywords is that it's a good balance, as I mentioned, between reach, so getting enough impressions to actually spend your budget, especially if you're struggling to spend your budget using exact match, but also coming across, new high quality search terms that can be actually added as new keywords to your campaign. But obviously the expanded reach that comes along with phrase match will come with irrelevant searches as well, and you might get a lot of clicks from those irrelevant searches, especially early on, but being on top of your search terms report will just help keep this to a minimum. Now, my own personal opinion on what we do for match types nowadays for new campaigns is that we have all of our keywords split up into separate ad groups, like you see here for gutter cleaning in the gutter cleaning ad group, guttering in the gutter services ad group, roof cleaning service in the roof cleaning ad group, and so on. And having all your keywords grouped together based on ad groups, based on intent, is that we like to have exact match keywords for the most part, especially for brand new campaigns where you're trying to get relevant data early on. So you're trying to minimize the amount of irrelevant search terms that you appear for. But what we like to do is, if we're struggling to get enough traffic with those exact match keywords, is adding in 1 to 2 phrase match keywords per ad group. So adding in phrase match keywords to your ad groups is just going to massively help boost the overall traffic that you're getting. And if you have a campaign that's underspending and just not getting you enough impressions at all, then adding in some phrase match keywords early on is a great way to get your budget to start spending so that you can optimize a lot quicker. And then once you have a campaign like this that has a lot of conversion data and is using a target CPA bidding strategy, for example, so using smart bidding to make the most out of Google's AI, that's when we like to go broader with our campaigns and add in a lot more phrase match keywords and maybe even some broad match keywords in some cases. But our general rule of thumb is that we like to keep things as strict and tight as possible early on. And then once we have a lot of relevant conversion data, is get looser with our keyword match types and start implementing more phrase match keywords to our campaigns. And the reason as well I mentioned possibly implementing some broad match keywords as well as exact and phrase match once you have a campaign with a lot of conversion data is that phrase match actually uses the same signals as exact match to drive performance. The main difference between phrase and exact match is that phrase is just a lot more lenient with the search terms that you can appear for, whereas broad match uses a lot of other signals like your landing pages, the other keywords in your ad groups, and previous searches that exact and phrase match don't use. So that's why I recommend, at some point, once you actually have a lot of conversion data inside your account, consider adding it in. But I wouldn't go adding broad match before phrase match, for example, as we like to start as strict as possible, then start, loosening up our match types a little bit, and then only adding in broad match keywords once we have a lot of conversion data, clear target CPA set, and just want to amplify what we already have in place with Google's AI. But this only works when you have a lot of relevant conversion data already. Now, I hope this video helped and gave you some clarity on how phrase match keywords work inside Google Ads and whether or not you should use them for your own campaign depending on the stage that you're currently at. Now, if you do have any questions about phrase match keywords or anything else related to Google Ads in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you are a service-based business looking to further refine your own campaigns, feel free to have a look at the link in the description. And if you do like this Google Ads related content as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel as we'll be posting all things related to Google Ads here daily. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video.